I'm sorry. What? I'm Captain Tommy Scribble, and you are on the lifeboat. California, I think you might have brought up old R. Hey, guess what? Anthony Powell, good to see you. Let's do a little roll call before we get rolling. Elizabeth Grundy, how are you? Davey, good to see you. Wilma, Cranky Wolf, glad you're here. Nice. Glad the daughter came over and helped you food prep. Sweet, Davey. Lord Kiss Freak 7th, good to see you. I believe I heard you're turning Taiwanese. I think I'm turning Taiwanese. I really think so. Izzy, good to see you. Shauna, what's happening? Mischief Mims, good to see you. Jen Marie, there you are. Jeremy Fowler, always a pleasure. Mary, how are you? Kristen Melinda, there you are. Demon. Hey, Ray, it was good to see you. I'll have you know that we brought the catnip plant. Ray gave me he was at the meet and greet and gave me my glasses. Oh no, Lisa is in the building. Can someone find my glasses? I'm sorry, but I'm glad you're in the building because it reminds me every single time. My glasses. I think they may be out on that desk. They're horn rimmed. Thank you. So I'm having a great night. Hey, Danette McClure, good to see you. I'm glad that you're here. Own resident Velma. So I was given a very cool catnip plant, and I brought it home, and Squirrel immediately took to the catnip plant. You know what? There they are. Joni Scovel's a beast. Lisa, how are you? All right, now we're in business. By the way, if you happen to see Ben Turner, that cat's got the biggest hands you've ever seen in your life, man. That man has got paws. Like for real. You think I got if you didn't see the video, there's a video of us with our hands up together. Yeah, dude's got big paws, and he's slightly taller than I am. You know what I mean? It's not a competition. It's not. But if it was, he would have won by a really, really big amount. He would have won big time, but it wasn't a competition. Oh, Jason P., thank you for stopping in, my brother. Really appreciate you, and have fun with your company. Enjoy it. Have fun. And we are always glad you are here. Kim is blue. Good to see you. See this, Lisa? Glad you're here. It keeps my eyes. Honestly, I'm way better off if I'm wearing the glasses. And so I'm trying to light, right? So this is the screens. I can't do anything about the screens, right? I got to look at those or there's no way to film this. But the lights, didn't expect this. Well, I'm going to tell you something. You're going to expect this every single night at this time. This is the new boat, people, right? 7 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock at night. It's going to take a while. People get used to it. But statistically speaking, this should give a whole lot more people an opportunity to see the lifeboat live. And that's really what it's all about. Right? It's connections, things like that. Also, from time to time, it's true crime. And for sure, when things start happening inside the prison systems, we're going to talk about it, right? Because that is kind of, it's kind of my tie to an awful lot. Frank Humphreys, good to see you. Hold on one second. New to the boat. No, we don't allow that. Welcome. So good to have you. You know what? I'm glad that you're here. I really am. Welcome to the lifeboat. It's good to have you. You know, my friend Steve would have descended on you to say hello, but I'm going to. Frank, welcome to the boat. Tampa B, yes, this is the new time, and it is lovely. I think this is going to work out. David Fan, thank you. I feel better. You know what? And I feel better because the more that I think about it, the more I'm just celebrating what was a really, really spectacular life. That's what I'm doing, and it really is a good thing. And yeah, it's true. We were trying to kill you, but that's kind of the, you know, it's kind of what it is. They're hot. They're spicy. They are spicy. Yes, welcome home. It's good to have you here. DJ Daddy-O. Good to see you, man. We're going a little later, DJ Daddy. We're going to probably have an opportunity to catch a few more shows. Brenda, good to see you. Glad that you're here. There's Crazy Girl. We're going to see some people that we don't normally see, and that's cool, man. I love that. I really do. It's going to more connections, more peoples. So let's talk about R. Kelly, shall we? Now, whether you're an R. Kelly fan or not, right? Or we're a fan of his music or not. I'm not a fan of R. Kelly. I'm not. The guy's a dirtbag. He did make some decent music to do the nasty too. Let's keep it honest, right? The guy did make some decent, but he's a foul human being. And he got, right, justice. Honestly, this dude caught 2 different rips, one in the state and one in the feds. And his Fed one will hold you, right? When you go to the feds, you're doing that time. It's not like you hear someone gets, 35 years and you see him on the street in 11. That's not the feds, right? He got 30 years. He's going to bring him damn near every bit of that, right? He's going to bring him close to 9 years on every 10, right? So he's got 27, and that's if he doesn't get any write-ups. And I got news for you. When you get into a fist fight, it's a write-up. If I go into your cell and I punch you in the face and you get up and hit me back, you're still getting a write-up, right? Or he's in the feds. It's called a shot. They don't call it a write-up. You get a shot. And shots come in a bunch of varieties. 100 series, 200 series, 300 series, and 400 series. When you get a 400 series shot, you giggle, right? Because it just means that they're being jerks. That's when a cop goes into your cell and just feels like being an ass, and he comes out and writes you up for having cardboard that you're not supposed to have in your cell, right? Or something like that. You're not going to get in any trouble. Someone's going to yell at you. You might have to mop a floor or something like that. A 200 series, this is you letting somebody use your phone, right? When they're not supposed, because the phones are only for you. You get 300 minutes a month. But if dude doesn't use his minutes, I can sneak a number onto his phone and try it, and they catch you every single time. People think they're slick. They all get caught. And I know this because I've been caught. It is what it is. And the person that lets him use the phone gets a write-up. The other person gets a write-up. I'm sorry, that's a 300 series. 200 series, now you're making alcohol. You're getting caught with a dirty urinalysis. 200 series, you're going to the hole, right? You're going to go to the shoe. You're going to spend some time in jail inside prison. Then they let you back to your house, which is prison. But you're going to be in the jail, which is the segregated housing unit. We're going to be locked down 24 hours a day. A 100 series is a real good fist fight. Real good one, right? Attacks, things like that, and murders. Like the ultimate would be a 100. A 100 series shot. 100 is murder. 101 is attempted, right? But the guy that put the boots to R. Kelly got a very serious shot. He got a 100 series shot over this. He went into R. Kelly's cell and began to stomp him out like a brush fire while he was still laying on his bottom bunk. This is the story. Now, we know this. This happened, by the way, a long time ago. But the feds don't really like information coming out. It came out back then. Dribs, drabs. The only way you get any info in the feds is if somebody really gets the bark beat off of them. If the person has to go to an outside hospital, then you're going to hear about it. Or if the person's R. Kelly, right? Because R. Kelly's got several lawsuits currently cooking against YouTubers who were working to give information they were getting from from staff members at MCC, right? The correctional facility in Chicago where he was at. All the employees were stealing all his information, who he was calling on the phone. By the way, if an employee is sitting there, like I've had employees that were really cool who would come down to me and go, "Hey, Rock, what's happening?" I go, "Hey, not much. What's going on? You want to tell me what the hell you were talking about on your last phone call?" Because when they get it up at SIS, right, which is the investigative services, those are the people, they're the FBI of the prison. He said, "Man, if SIS hears that call, they're going to think you were ordering dope." And I wasn't, but every once in a while you'd say something on a phone. And if you're not thinking about it, then you say something like, "Oh man, that would be awesome. Yeah, you got to mail that in. You get that to me, man. You got to get that in for real. And I need it as fast as you can get it." I mean, you could be talking about a magazine, a book, but if it sounds bad, they'll come down and talk to you. And what that tells you is there's a computer up there. They can listen to every single call or just hit a button and read it as it's going down. And they do. They got nothing better to do. When we would get locked down for the night, they just start going through everybody's phone calls during the day to see what they can find. And R. Kelly was trying to control the women that he had been abusing from inside the walls. And, this got out, but it was a bunch of information that should have never been leaked to the street. And there's a lot of lawsuits going on about it. But because of these lawsuits, we're finding out a lot about what happened back in 2020 when a gentleman from a gang I've talked about on other channels before. I don't mention gangs by name very often, right? I don't do it. I don't do it out of respect. You feel me? I'm not a member of any of these gangs. I didn't tip up, but I have ludicrous amount of respect for a lot of people who are high up in these gangs. Now, that may not make sense to you, but these are individuals who manage to keep prisons running. Because I promise you, those are the people who are keeping prisons running. So I'm not stepping on any of these people, right? I don't intend to tell you what prison gang this guy belongs to. However, if you know anything, right? If you know anything about prison tattoos, this is not going to be a difficult one to read. You want to look between his eyes, right? Just above his nose, you are going to see a tattoo that runs right around here, right? And that is a symbol that makes every single person that walks into this cat know exactly who he's with. He is affiliated, right? He's also got a couple of teardrops, right? Teardrops aren't a joke. Like they might be in movies, but inside that means he's removed 2 people from planet Earth. Yeah. And he has, because he just got sentenced for it. He's doing a lot of time. He's not going to be getting out of prison. Now, this cat changed his story. Originally, he said, with a not so nice word involved, but he said something along the lines of, I'm getting pretty sick and tired of this dude getting us locked down. Right? Now, this checks out. This really checks out. A lot of times I hear things and I go, I don't know, man. It doesn't sound very prison to me. You feel me? Like I'll hear something and I'll be like, I don't know. Sounds like a nice story, but you talk to convicts and it doesn't necessarily ring true like something that this might have happened, right? But sometimes you hear things. Let me tell you something. A famous guy comes into a unit and starts acting like a prima donna, and he gets that unit locked down once, where you can't go to store, you can't get coffee, you can't go out and use the hot water, you can't use the microwave, you can't take a shower. Let me tell you how long they put up with that. So, according to what this gentleman said, third time that R. Kelly got the unit locked down. Let me explain to you a little something about federal prison. You know who gets really, really angry about getting locked down, right? Only a few sets of people. Drug dealers do not like being locked down because it makes it very difficult to sell their drugs. And they're selling their drugs, more often than not, to support people on the street. So they don't like it when they get locked down, right? Those drug dealers, more often than not, if they do not belong to a gang, well, they're certainly paying an awful lot of rent to the gang to be able to sling dope. Feel me? Okay, they don't like it when you get locked down. You know who else doesn't like it? The friggin' staff. Now the staff has got to start doing the laundry. Yeah? Now the staff has got to start going to the kitchen and cooking. The staff have to start doing everything that the inmates would have been doing. When you lock something down, now the cops got to go to work. And they're not very fond of that. They would rather that we do the work. You understand that at any given time, there's hundreds of people that work in a prison, and almost all of them are inmates. They're cooking, they're cleaning, they're doing laundry, they're stitching stuff, they're building uniforms for the military, they're building Humvees, they're converting military vehicles to take down to the southern border, whatever. But it's all done by inmates until it isn't. Now, let's say your unit gets shut down. Now, it's just a unit. The rest of the prison's working. No big deal, right? Oh, but it is. Because these guys can't go to the chow hall. So now the cops that are working have to go to every single cell in the entire unit, open the food slot, hand in 2 trays, right? Wait an hour, go back, open every single food slot by hand, take those trays, right? Food gets all over them. They get really, really salty when this happens. They do not like being locked down any more than we do. So, as the story goes, R. Kelly, through his attorney, is suing because he said that nobody did a thing about the beatdown. In fact, he says that they encouraged it. They were a little nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Like maybe they might have said to one of these organizations, you know what? We're all getting a little tired of this, right? Maybe somebody want to go in there and have a word with them, because I'm telling you, the way it went down, right? This is a cat that just went up into some dude's cell and started stomping on his face. Not normally an action that's taken without permission. You follow me? I don't think this is something where a random dude's like, I'm getting tired of getting locked down. That's going to be the story, right? Because he's not going to go, the fellas ordered me to hit this dude. And you know what? Think about it. He's sitting in there facing a case. Back then, they were both facing cases. That the guy with the teardrops, he's facing 2 life sentences. Right? This is his world now. R. Kelly just entered his world. This is where he's going to be living for the rest of his life, and he knows it. Got nothing to lose. Got absolutely nothing to lose. And you know what else? He's got a crap load to gain, because here we are, and I'm talking about his name is Jeremiah something or other, right? The world is seeing this guy's tattooed face. Guess what? People are putting money on his books. A ton of it. I promise you. Money went on this guy's books today, because people are going to see this guy on the internet and go, you know what? I'll give him $5. He went in and stomped R. Kelly out so badly that Mr. Kelly has Mr. Kelly has decided. What are you sniffing there, squirrel? R. Kelly has decided that he is in absolute emotional and he's suffering from PTSD and bad distress. He can't. Absolutely terrified that everybody is going to attack him. As we said, paranoid. He doesn't know who he can trust. So the Bureau of Prisons usually will take somebody like that and try to get them maybe to a nicer yard, someplace a little safer. Where he is now is in Butner, right? Butner is in South Carolina. I believe it's South Carolina. It's in one of the Carolinas. I'm almost sure it's South Carolina. But a couple of things about Butner. Number one, it's beautiful, right? It's one of the most beautiful yards. I've never seen it, but according to everybody that's been there, it is really a nice yard. Very high tech. They've got all kinds of programming, like courses you can take, things like that. Sorry about that. Sorry, people. You know what else they got? Freaks. A bunch of them. North Carolina, thank you. FCI Butner. There's a lot of people at FCI Butner who are either wicked high profile. Bernie Madoff was at Butner, right? And then people who are really, really messed up. Now, there have been people at Butner. This was talked about a lot. Right around 2010, I think, is when it happened. But they had people in the feds at Butner whose sentences ran out. Their time had come up. And the government said, these people are too dangerous to put back on the street. Now, these are bad people, right? And these are people who hurt children. Now, what they had done was basically just tested these people and said, nope, they're still dangerous to children now, and we're not letting them out. Love it, right? Love it. I think it's the greatest idea in the whole world. I really do. And then you start thinking about it, and you go, holy crap. I don't like them, right? They should all die in prison, or they should have just shot him in the first place. However, what if they go, that dude's, if we let him out, he's just going to rob another bank. If we let him out, he's just going to, right? I mean, I don't know where you got to draw the line on that somewhere. I like it. I really do. But that Butner has got a lot of news because of it, because that's where those guys were. There are some sick people in Butner. And this is where R. Kelly is going to be. Now, part of that is just because of the fact that he's got a messed up case, right? He has a messed up case, the kind of case that gets people like him beat up. And apparently it's happened a few times already, right? And he's suing every time it happens. So we're gonna have all kinds of fun stuff to talk about, because I promise you it has not stopped. Here's the thing with R. Kelly, man. If you can smack R. Kelly, you're going to be famous. Oh, look at that queen, huh? If you can smack R. Kelly in the grill, you are absolutely going to be famous. And not only are you going to be famous, but you're going to financially be taken care of, because I promise you, there are a lot of people out there that want to see R. Kelly in pain. Just keep it real. You know, the people who do these kind of crimes don't get a whole lot of sympathy from the public. You know, I promise that people are just loading up their books because they feel like sometimes once you get to prison, you know, the justice begins. And as much as nobody likes the idea that, you know, this stuff goes on behind the and I mean the violence. But if it's going to happen, these are the people it should happen to, right? This is a guy that like to urinate on underage women. I'm not sure I can feel really bad for his PTSD that someone's smacking the crap out of him. And I'll tell you what, he isn't going to be safe at Butner. But here's what I wanted. This is the reason I wanted to talk about this case, because I just want to do connection. We're going to get off this case in a second, I promise. But you know why I want to do this case? I'll tell you why. Because people seem to go back and forth on the on all of this stuff, right? There is a back and forth that happens constantly, in particular with me. You know, I came out and I started to say to people, hey, when these guys go to prison, they don't get protected. I don't care what anybody tells you. I don't care whether they're famous. I don't care whether they're whatever. And no matter how much people call in, and you've heard them, right? You've heard people say, oh, no, Tommy's wrong, the rich people or the famous people. And they come on made that, you know, videos have been made about it. And I never came out and made a video where I said, blah, blah. I don't do any of that. But I'm going to tell you something. I promise you, right? There's no such thing as cushy prisons for rich and famous people in the United States. If they do this, what this cat did, there's no such thing. I don't care what anybody says, right? Tommy, did they have booty bandits in the prison that you served time in? I'll be really honest with you. It doesn't happen very often. It doesn't. Now, there are a couple of cars. Groups of individuals in prison are called cars. They're referred to as cars. And then a car could be an entire state. It could be a city. It could be a color, right? The whites are one car. The blacks are one car. But you could have whites from Nevada, or you could have whites from Vegas, and all of these little cars that develop. And they're groups of people who stick together to protect one another. This is basically what cars are in prison. And there's not a lot of this that goes on. There's a lot of sex that's going on, I promise. But it's on the real down low, because if you get caught, they're going to kill you, right? They don't, you know, they're not particularly woke, right? In prison. They're not particularly woke. But the act of SAing a man inside, it will get you killed. Now, the exception to that rule is if you were to SA R. Kelly, no one's going to say a thing, because that cat's green lighted. If you were to SA Danny Masterson, no one's going to say a thing, because that cat's got green light written all over him. Nobody cares what happens to those guys. They're on NC status. They got nothing coming. Now, people will come out and look, here's the bottom line. This isn't going to change. Yeah, and you know, I apologize, Calhoun. I let it slip. Here's the deal. This is really where the rubber meets the road. I don't care who the rich dude is. We will talk about them as they go in and out, or the famous dude. If their case is of an SA nature, they're not doing soft time. You hear me? They're not. I don't care what anyone else tells you, you know? And it's funny because I came out and said that. And then after a while, you know, I started to kind of be the voice of reason that said, look, they're not going to do soft time, but they're probably, you know, don't have roving bands of people beating them with sticks either. You know, like it's fallen somewhere in the middle. You know what I mean? But here's the deal with R. Kelly. We're not going to have to wait long. Every single time something happens to this dude, he and his attorneys are going to file a lawsuit. Which, by the way, I kid you not, will get you killed in the federal system. For real. File a lot of paperwork on the feds and watch how fast they start sending you places you don't want to be. You know who really angered the feds? Whitey Bulger, right? And there were 3 prisons in the BOP that Whitey Bulger could be sent to. And everybody that knows the BOP knew there were 3 prisons in the BOP. I'm talking about from the scrub that just got off the bus, right? A fish that's been in the system 2 days knows there's 3 yards that guy can go to. They're all USPs, United States penitentiaries. There aren't any other. And it's USP Terre Haute. There's one in Coleman in Florida. And there's one here in Tucson, Arizona, the USP. Those are the 3. And Whitey was kind of getting shuffled back and forth as he went from one to the next or whatever. He was in a relationship with a nurse, got caught in a relationship with a nurse. That's called compromising staff. They shipped him to another yard. They were very angry about that. He was shipping his IDs out about 3 a week. Kept telling them people were stealing his IDs and he was mailing them out. People were selling them. They don't like that. They get tired. He got sent to a prison in a wheelchair and was alive for exactly 15 minutes. He didn't make it long. I promise you, he didn't make it long. He was attacked within 15 minutes. His leaving this planet took a minute. Whitey was executed by the Bureau of Prisons. Sorry, right? But that's exactly what happened, man. They sent him to, what's the name of that yard? Starts with an H. Anyway, the yard they sent him to is the yard closest to Boston, Massachusetts. Right? What are you kidding me, man? They sent this dude to a yard 2B. Hazleton is the name of the yard. Hazleton. Right? This is not just a yard that was active. Right? This was a yard that was cracking. I mean, this was a yard that was active, right? There were hitmen from the mob serving life sentences there. Okay? This was not a place you send Whitey Bulger. Not only do you send him to an active yard, you send him to an active yard where all of the world knows he's a rat, and this is as close as you can get to your home city. Whitey cooperated with the FBI, right? You've all seen the movies. Whitey did a bunch of cooperating with the FBI and got a lot of people whose last names end in vowels life sentences while he was off doing whatever crimes he wanted to do. That really went down. You should read the books on it. It's fascinating stuff, right? His handlers from the FBI got life in prison, right? This was dirty stuff. This was really, really filthy stuff. But he just kept bothering the BOP and bothering the BOP and bothering the BOP, and they went, ship his ass to Hazleton. Now, I will guarantee you that what they thought was they were going to do diesel therapy. And what diesel therapy is you keep shipping a guy from one yard to the next. And he gets to that yard and goes, I'm not going out there, right? You can't put me out there. They stick you in the hole. And there you sit for 6 or 8 months until they ship you to the next yard, which is active. And you go, I can't go out on that yard. And they sit in the hole and process starts all over again. That's what they were trying to do. That's my theory. My theory is they were trying to do a little diesel therapy on Whitey Bulger. But when he hit that yard and they said to him, you want to go on main line? They'll say to you, do you have any reason why you shouldn't go on main line? Do you have any enemies on this yard that you know of? No. Is there any gangs that want to get you? No. Are you homosexual? They go through a list of things that they think could get you hurt. Then they strip you naked and they take a picture of every tattoo on your body. And they do it from about 2 inches away because they're looking for where you hid, I don't know, a 3-leaf clover or maybe 3 dots or the number 13, right? Or the number 14, the number 88. There are a lot of symbols and a lot of things that can be hidden. Lightning bolts, swastikas, all of these things. And they take pictures of all of those. No, they do not hose you off like in the movies. That's they let you take your own shower. Fortunately, they don't do you like the movies go. But you do spend a decent amount of time when you first get there wearing nothing. Kind of a bummer. But yeah. So here's what I guarantee you: they got there and they said to him, "All right, Whitey, you got any enemies here?" And he went like this. No, I promise you, that's what happened. He would have had to sign the paper saying, "Yeah, I'll go on this yard." You sign one or the other. You sign a paper that says, "Yeah, I'm cool. I'll go walk this yard," or you sign a paper that says, "I need protective custody." The piece of paper is called a lockup order. And when you get to the next prison you're going to from the hole, You walk in, you go, hi, you doing? I'm Rock. They go, hey, Rock, where are you coming from? Say, I'm coming from Terminal Island, or I'm coming from Victorville, or I'm coming from Lewisburg. All right, you got your lockup order? So you go and you get your paperwork and you hand it to them. Here's what I got in trouble for in the last yard. They want to know you didn't just rat on somebody, or you didn't just, run up a big bill and get beat up because you couldn't pay your bill or whatever. Naked in prison has got to be awkward. Oh, Lady J, I'll tell you what. It depends on where you go. Like, there are prisons. It's not like it was in the old days. They did something called PREA, and PREA was the Prison Repay Elimination Act, right? To keep guys from getting SA'd in prison, they passed something called the PLRA, and it's the prisoner, anyway, PREA. So the idea being to keep people safe. But once they passed PREA, they did nice things like make it so that they wouldn't put 9 toilets in a row with no walls between them, right? They didn't have 12 nozzles in a shower, where you're just 12 guys in the shower room. It's a little uncomfortable in prison. So, but yeah, I remember those days. That's when I started doing time. But once PREA came in, they changed all of that. But prior to it, you would not believe it. Not only were you forced, like when I remember the first time I ever went to prison, they stripped you out in the middle of a room. Everybody just loses their clothes while 360 degrees of cells just mock everybody and shout things at you and just foul stuff, And it was sort of a rite of passage thing. But there are people who that day would just look at the cops and go, I can't be here. I need protective custody. They used to call it shaking out the tree, getting rid of the people that couldn't do time, right? It's but they've done away with all of that. Hey, Trinity, red or blue pill. Hi ho, Kermit the Frog here. Good to see you. I was listening to you last night, actually. Always a pleasure to have you here, Trinity. If you've never checked her out, can we get a wrench to put Trinity's link up? Trinity does fun stuff, and her voice is better than mine. You'd find you a big mama for protection. Brazzy girl, not a bad idea. Not a bad idea, right? It's not exactly the option you necessarily want to go with in prison, though, right? For guys, it's like, yeah. Here's the crazy thing: twin forever. That's a great thing. It sounds like you need to go to prison school before you get to prison. The stuff you need to know. Well, there's a lot of truth to that, right? There's things that you can do that will get you hurt, and no one's going to tell you about it until you do it. How about some of the most basic things in the entire world? I got one for you. Don't spit in the sink. What? Yeah. You brushing your teeth? Do not spit in that sink. You hear me? Thank you, Mary. If you spit in that sink, you're going to get in a fight. I promise you. You see, that sink is one of the most important parts of the room. And they don't like it when bad things get put in that sink. Right? Guys cook in it. Guys do all kinds of stuff in it. You don't spit in the sink. So when you brush your teeth, you spit in the toilet. Right? And that's a big deal. It really is. I'd have to pass on the get naked with everyone thing. Tracy, it would be nice if you could do that. Unfortunately, they're kind of strict on the stuff you can pass and not pass on, right? No sense of humor whatsoever with these people. But it's like, honestly, it's like anything else. Eventually, you just get to a point where you're like, I guess it just gets worn out of you or whatever. Because you get stripped out so often in prison. There's really no way to explain how often you have to take your clothes off and go through this process. Anytime you come back from anywhere where they're not sure if where you just were, you may have had access to pick up anything anywhere, right? Pick up anything and put it in your hands. Anywhere you go. Well, if you're going to hide it, it's not going to be in your pocket, right? So there's a lot of that. You want to go there, Sweet Liberty? Do you want to go there? All right, we'll go there. So here's how this works, right? Here's the way it works. When you're done when you do the strip out thing, they go like this. Put your hands out, right? You want to make sure you got really big paws, right? Like if you're a guy with good sized hands, Ben Turner, for instance, no problem, right? Guys would do this stuff, right? So, you got nothing in your hands and anything, a small little amount of anything that you can get on, you're handcuffed, right? So, but when you get there, they want your hands out, right? So they can see the webs. You pull your ears back. You got to put your fingers in your hair and go like this. rub it all out. Same thing if you got, then you got to open up your mouth, stick your tongue out, stick your fingers in your mouth, go like this all the way around so that they can see what's up. Then you take off all of your articles of clothing one at a time and hand it to them until you are wearing nothing. Then they say, right foot, left foot. You turn around and show them the bottom of each foot so that they know you're not holding anything in between your toes. You follow me? Then they want you to lift your junk, right? 2-part process. The first part of the junk to make sure you're not holding anything underneath the frank. Then you pick up the second part to make sure you're not holding anything under the beans. Then you turn around, you bend over at the waist, you spread your stuff as wide as you possibly can, squat and cough as loud as possible. The theory being anything that you have in there would go flying out at the cough. During this process, the flashlight is being shown in that general direction. Now, don't blame you, Kelly, me either. Do you know what happens? And Kelly will probably back me up on this. Kelly will back me up on this. You get to a point where you go, you know what? They got to be bumming about this more than me. Okay? So I remember going in to take a drug screen, and I was on what's called the hot sheets. Right? And once you're on the hot sheets, guess what? You're never getting anything. Oh, twin, you got to put your head back, and they do up your nose with a flashlight. Oh yeah, that's also part of it. Yeah, they're pretty into checking virtually everything. They're good at it, including. Oh, I won't go there. Just there's no place they don't check. I promise you. We're going to leave it at that. Debbie, I always like that too. Lady J says, I feel exposed listening to this. Yeah, I get it. Right, I get it. I feel the same way. Right. True story. But like when I was on the hot sheets, once you're on the hot sheets, you're going to take a drug test once a month randomly for the rest of the time you're in prison because the hot sheets is 6 years. 6 years, right? So, I mean, I don't care how long your sentence is. You're going to be on there for the rest of it, right? If you just have to fail the first one and then you're screwed. It took me about an hour and a half to fail the first one, right? So I was always on the hot sheet. And there was one cop who, for 5 months, this dude was the guy that did the urinalysis, right? So on month 6, I go in there and I go, I've been in prison 7 years, man. I've never met anybody that has done your job more than 2 months in a row. You're requesting to look at Johnson's all day long, dude. Like, I'm not trying to bum you out or get in your business, but what's going on at home that you just want to stare at us all day long doing this? And he goes, Rock, don't mess with me, bro. He's like, for real. He's like, I'm on absolutely in the doghouse, the low man on the totem pole. He goes, I got 2 more months off of this. You know what, Johnny Scoville? If I wish Calhoun, you have a mission. You hear me? Find Jean-Claude Van Damme doing his happy dance. Please. Jordy T, good to see you. Anik Alexander, love the queue. Debbie P, good to see you. Good to see you. Lord Kiss Freak, how are you? Mary Jones, thank you. Awakened by the Looking Glass, good to see you. Ben Bacon Bits, good to see you. DJ Daddy-O. You know what, people? I can't even change in the gym locker room without hiding under your towel. Yeah, well, here's the good thing. Once, as far as with the fellas, the amount of respect that is given, best memory skiing. Ooh, you know what? I'm going to answer that one. The amount of, thank you, Z-Dub, for always being the most consistent supporter of the boat from the very first day that you showed up here. I love you. I mean it. Among the guys, like showers, things like that, the level of respect, you don't look at people, you don't do anything like that because it will get you hurt. Like really quickly, you keep your eyes exactly. Oh, Calhoun, you didn't. You found it. So awesome. I don't care what decade this was. This is round on so many levels. So good today. Standing in my way. Tomorrow, gonna be a price to pay. Feeling so good. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That really is just worth the price of admission. If you're not a little uncomfortable by that dance, like if that honestly didn't make you just a little bit uncomfortable watching it, I think you should probably leave. Seriously.
Was that what you were looking for?
That is exactly what I was looking for, Calvin. You hit that one out of the park. You hit that. Well done, Spanx. Thank you, Sweet Liberty. You nailed it. You absolutely nailed it.
Is it over?
Yes. Yeah, you can watch again, Johnny. He doesn't watch it. He really doesn't. He brings it up. Oh, it's cringy. Kimmy is blue. It is cringy. To the topless sunbathing deck on the cruise. I had no idea there was a topless sunbathing deck. I intend to wear one of those like full length uniforms that they wear when you're working on an automobile. Van Damme, yeah, he can dance. He really can. He also was one of the first really epic BSers that kind of got caught. For real. If you ever do a deep dive on him, he's a lot of fun. I'm not going to smut him up because I kind of do like his films. I'm just going to say it. He was big in the 80s. I had a lot of fun with him. But hey, Janet G, just jumping in. Good. Oh, guess what? Do you know what I am? Do you know what I am? Aside from sober, and then I'm going to tell you my best skiing memory. And it is the reason that I'm timing this is because it'll probably take me 19 minutes. It's that much of an epic story. But now I'm just going to tell my ski story. Sorry, I'm going there. The absolute highlight of my that's how you dance. You do the Elaine thing there, Kristen. See, but when a woman does that, there's something just cute and awesome. You look at Elaine and you're like, oh, you see a guy do that, you're just like, ew, stop. Right? Not funny. Awful. Okay, best memory skiing. I was in Utah in Little Cottonwood Canyon. And I had some friends that were with I don't know if I should say the name of the company or not. Anyway, they were in they had a production company that made ski films, and I'd done some work with them in the past, and they asked me if I would be willing to do some stuff for film, and I was like, normally it's kind of like this, right? Like I'm going to talk about prison or whatever, right? That's very often what they're going to I'm going to end up talking about. It's just one of those things. Well, with skiing, you have me show up and you have me do a couple of backflips, right? I was like, so you want me to show up and do some backflips or what am I doing? He's like, no, we're going to hike. He's like, I want you to do some back country skiing that you got to hike to. And we're going to send you out with some snowboarders, right? And that was fairly new. Skiers and snowboarders pictures weren't being taken together very much back then. And they sent me out with a guy named Wally that was just one of the nicest dudes I ever met. And he's no longer with us. He overdosed on heroin, but he's just a good dude. And it was me and him and another friend. There was just three of us. And we started hiking in the middle of the night. Like, I'm not kidding you. It was maybe 1 a.m., right? And we just started post-holing into a place called the Y Coulier. If you happen to be a Utahian, right? If you're from Utah, you've been in Little Cottonwood Canyon, there is a coulier. A coulier, by definition, is a trail that you cannot access any other way but climbing up, what you are then going to ski down. In other words, you can't go up this way and ski down that way. You're going to go straight the hell up and you're going to ski straight the hell down. There's no other way to do it, right? That's a coulier. At the top of this one, it splits into a Y, right? Which is why it's called the Y Coulier, right? So what you're going to be skiing on might be 90 feet wide, which sounds pretty wide until you're going like 60 miles an hour. And then you realize that it's about this wide, right? It's really not very wide. And so there's a long run out of this. But at the top, as we post-hold, it was snowing the whole time. I mean, just dumping. And they kept saying, we had radios on. They just kept saying, it's going to stop soon. Just keep hiking. The snow's, it's supposed to, right around sunbreak, sunrise, all this is going to blow off. And so our friend, the snowboarder, said, I'm going to go this way. I want to go to the right. And I said, well, I'm going to go to the left, solely because it looks shorter, right, than the other one. And that last 100 yards might have taken an hour. I'm not kidding you, because the snow's like 4 feet deep, and every time you put your foot in, you're just post holing it up to your waist, and it's an effort, right? It just sucks. It really does. But when we finally got to the top, I got to the point where I was at the clouds. I could not see the guy next to me, and one more step, and we were above it. And all of a sudden, it was blue sky and sun, and it was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen in my life. You couldn't see Earth. Everything was below you, and the clouds were gray and ugly, right? And just as far as the eye could see. Hey, Jim Webster, good to see you, my man. Thank you. I don't know. You know what? Jim could ski. I'll give you that, right? Jim was a skier. He was the real deal. Thank you, Jim. It's an honor, and I consider Jim one of my real friends. I really do. I love Jim. Good man. So I'm above it. I'm literally above it. And I looked at the friend that I was with. We'll call him Jay. And I looked at Jay and I just went, oh my God. And he goes, I was thinking about him too. And I was like, this is just insane. Like I had never seen anything like this. I mean, just it looked like a carpet as far as the eye could see. And you just knew it was dumping snow, and you could stick your head below it, right? Go down about 3 feet and it was just snow. Go about 3 feet higher and it was nothing but blue sky and God. And we hung up there, and the guy was like, you know what? We're not going to get a really good shot. He said, but this is probably the best we're going to get. If you go right now, we might be able to see you. My friend Jay was like, yeah, well, you know what, out of luck, because we're probably going to hang out up here a little while longer. And he's like, we got a really short window. And my friend was like, and we don't. And on the other side of the Y was our friend. And it was crazy because we couldn't talk to him except by walkie-talkie. There's a pretty good distance between the two of them, but it was amazing listening to it. It was amazing. It really was. And just looking at it and then talking afterwards with it was almost a religious experience. It really was. And then we didn't get any footage, none. So, but we dropped it and skied it, and it was a great time. Have I ever been heli skiing? Oh my God, yeah. You went, oh, wait a second. What was back in the day, Janet? I've been heli skiing. Not only have I been heli skiing, I've been heli skiing in BC. What was back in the day? So like Whistler, Blackcomb, where were you? Whistler, British Columbia. That's where you went in the summer when everything else melts. That's where you go to ski bumps in the summer. Hold on. What? They do not allow topless sunbathing? Well, that's good because I didn't intend to take my top off, so we're good. I don't know. I may rock a one piece, like the striped ones that people used to wear. That's what I may go. So people, listen up. I'm a YouTuber. Did you know this? Johnny Scoville. I'm a YouTuber. I said, I'm a YouTuber. Yeah. Are you ready? Are you ready? People, if you've not subscribed to The Lifeboat, do me a favor and hit that damn button and hit subscribe. You know why? Because this connection stuff is actually taking off. And if you came down and met people today, right? If you had got an opportunity to come down to the meet and greet, which was honestly a very good time, I think you would have walked away feeling that. Ask Ben, right? Seriously, ask that big, palmed, huge Ben. Hold on, I just saw something. Caribou Lodge, Vermont. There you go. Good skiing, right? The best skiing. Shelley Kelly and her husband, right? If you came down and this connection thing is real, right? It really is. It's real. Now, I need more of you hitting subscribe, and more of you are going to hit the bell for notification, right? I'm going to keep doing this twice a day. You guys are going to hit damn subscribe, and you're going to hit the bell for notification. I'm a YouTuber, okay? You're hurting my feeling. 43% or some crap a percentage of my viewers don't hit subscribe. And I know it's the schnoz, but get over it. Twin Mom, great hanging out with you all today too, right? How cool was that? You think Baldy? Oh, I could argue that. I don't know. Baldy wasn't my favorite, but the best heli skiing that I can't say it. Then I'm just gonna make all kinds of enemies. But the best heli skiing, the Chugach heli guides, that's probably the best heli skiing on earth. And it used to be even better. They lost their greatest guide in it. You know what? I'm not going to do that. It's been a rugged couple of days. Let's have an upbeat subject matter, shall we? My dancing skills. I have been known to dance. I have to, in order to dance, I actually have to have somebody help me. Like I have to have somebody that actually like plans it out. Love your mods, even Lord's Kiss Freak, who is trying to kill me with Tube of Terror Nuts. Can't say no because, yeah, you can't say no because, like me, you're not burdened by deep thought. No, I mean honestly, why do we eat these things? You have less. I mean, I'm at least related to this, to the owner of this, but nobody eats this stuff on purpose, right? Nobody eats this stuff on purpose. It's not. Nobody ever eats the Tube of Terror peanuts and goes, you know what? Those are tasty. I mean, the idea is very simply that you're trying to win a challenge. The challenge is you don't have the huevos to do this, right? But nobody goes, boy, I love the taste of those Johnny Scoville peanuts.
I beg to differ. Here's the thing, and this is the truth. The way they taste, give me that. The way these taste will be determined by your tolerance. If your tolerance is low, these will taste like poison.
Burning.
I promise you. If your tolerance is high, these taste like a very, very hot honey roasted nut. That's the truth. The day that I ate 10 of these, the first 7 tubes were like honey roasted nuts. Then they started getting bad. But the first 7 tubes were like candy. I wouldn't lie.
The first 7 tubes.
Ah,
I'm going to have to ask you to leave. The first 7 tubes. Calhoun, you've had one of these. Look at the way the cat's looking at him. She knows. He's not right, is he? He's not right, is he? This cat loves having her head just completely mauled. And if you do it right, when she really gets into it and she starts closing her eyes and getting all happy, when she really gets into it, you can kiss her and she doesn't care. Any other time I kiss her, she'd be out of the room. But you got to be really giving her the business.
The meet and greet video is going to be up as soon as your video.
The second we're done here, we're going to be putting up the meet and greet video, and you're going to get a chance to see everybody that was down there with us. You know what's funny today? You guys will get a laugh out of this. And I've waited so long that Reese won't be here. She might have showed up in the beginning, but Reese doesn't stick around. But I'll tell a Reese story because this is always fun, especially when she's not here. But I spoke with Reese after the event because I called her up. I was like, Reese, I may have texted her. Anyway, I said, Reese, met a lot of your friends at the, at the meet and greet. And she goes, shut up. Nobody there knew me. This is Reese's response to almost everything. She went, shut up. Nobody there knew me. I was like, yeah, no, Reese, the first people that we talked, everybody we talked to came up and said, oh yeah, I knew you through Reese. Speaking of which, Anita made me the most beautiful hat. I am going to put this hat on. I'm not going to do it today, but I'm going to model this for you. I also have like 3 or 4 things I need to model for you. But this hat is the softest. She made the most beautiful hat for me. And I will be, oh, Squirrel, what are you doing? Are you seeing that? Take it easy on your toe. Oh, what are you doing? That's why I find them everywhere. She chews them off. It's amazing. That is a spoiled animal. You know that, don't you? This is a spoiled kitty cat. Aren't you? Aren't you, you spoiled kitty? It really is a spoiled cat. I'm sorry. Every once in a while, people, yeah, you might drop off, but I don't care. It's my cat. I got to do that. Right? Every once in a while, you just got to take care of the kitty. Right? Eat that girl. Who's a good girl? Look at that look of contentment. That is the perfectly shut eyes of a very content kitty. You just a good girl. She's got the one eye open look. I love it when cats do that. All right, sorry. What were we talking about? They were worshipped and spoiled a little bit. I mean, there's something to that, but here's the good news. They have not let it go to their head. You know what I mean? A lesser animal who was worshipped, right, might have become, I don't know, aloof, arrogant, may have expected you to take care of them and give you absolutely nothing in return. You know what I mean? The occasional affection. They would literally treat you like maybe you owed them, something. But not cats. No, they've stayed humble through the entire process of being worshipped. They are very, very humble creatures. Take Squirrel, for instance. Are you a humble girl? Huh? She said, no, I am the best girl. Oh, that's a happy cat. Honestly. Monk saw it. He saw it live. I was doing this live, people. I went live from the. I had my camera live at the event, and I want to tell you something. You've never seen a burger. I promise you. You think you've seen a hamburger? I promise you haven't. I promise you have not. The first hamburger that you will ever see, you will see when you watch the videos that we did at Thunder Bacon Burger. It is, oh man, not only is it the tastiest burger ever, like the Big Kahuna burger got nothing on this, but the Scoville brothers, the Scoville family in general, are prone to hyperbole or hyperbole. Occasionally, we like to exaggerate slightly for the purpose of making a laugh. Yeah? Okay. What I'm about to tell you is not an exaggeration for the purpose of making you laugh. This burger is 10 inches high, right? That puppy is this big. It is absolutely ridiculous. You couldn't, you're not going to go and get a bite of this thing because I got the biggest mouth in America and there's just no chance. It is really a big burger. I'm not playing. It's a big, mean burger. By the way, I'm a YouTuber. Hit subscribe, right? When you do, hit the bell for notification. That way, when we go live, and we do often, when we go live, you're not going to miss any of the content that we put up. Just as importantly, you're not going to miss any cat in a basket, right? We do not judge people for the things that they did while under the influence. Very few exceptions to that rule. We also guarantee more cat in a basket than anybody else on YouTube, right? Well, no, Tracy. I don't. I get where you're coming from, and the point is taken. I know guys that don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. I get that, but that's not where I'm going. What I mean is just, I'm never going to come out and tell you that I caught a shark if I didn't. Right? That just would be dishonest. Now, in the process of describing this shark, I may say something like, it was the biggest shark in history, or the shark was so large it had its own zip code. Probably not the truth, but hyperbole for the purpose of, a laugh or whatever. But you get where I'm going with this, yeah? But we've been known to do that from time to time. That said, this is a 10-inch tall hamburger. 9 or 10, right? Am I wrong? Hanger Rary said, I had the cheesy chipotle bacon ranch buffalo tater tots, which are fire, by the way. I know because I ate all the ones that my son. Oh, no, he went with the 420 tater tots, which is just what it sounds like. If you've ever seen the movie Half Baked, it sounds like the order that he put in Half Baked, all put on top of tater tots. Bunions. Oh, I want it does sound like it might have been put together by somebody that had a really wicked case of the munchies. But, why, thank you, Monk. I feel as if the boat is running well. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel as if the boat is a well-oiled machine. Calhoun, what do you think? It did have hot Cheetos crushed on them. You want to know what's funny? If Reese is here, she'll show up on right around now. Reese should show up and say, did somebody say hot Cheetos? She's a fan. I'm not sure if you knew that. But Reese is a fan of hot Cheetos. Not going to lie to you. Don't tell her I said this. I'm not a fan of hot Cheetos. I'm not. I just don't like them. I don't like fake hot much. I really don't. Like I'm just I'm not a fan of fake hot much. People, I talked to you about that protein stuff? Boy, oh boy, man. So I brought so much of that back from New Mexico. That's life changing. I swear to God, that is life changing. If you are not taking a ton of protein in your life, you probably should be. I am developing some very serious theories on protein that I think are I'm right on. Your first live on the lifeboat. Woo! What's happening? I love it when people say that. Wasn't there a movie about hot Cheetos that actually got nominated in the Oscars this year? Could have been a documentary. Sandy, if you're not punking me, you should be. There's no way that can be real. There's a hot Cheetos nominated for an Academy Award. I just can't buy that, even if it's the truth. What's the name of the ship and where is it sailing out from? It's called the Lifeboat. It sails twice a day from the Southwest office of, I don't know. What the hell were we talking about? What was the question? I don't know what the name of the ship is. Does anyone? You know who would know? My friend Cricket, because she's smarter than us. She really is. Cricket's got the answers. All of them. By the way, if you're an insomniac and you do not watch Cricket, what's the matter with you? She is up late. The movie was about Takis. I would make both of you leave. Takis? Oh, they're the worst. You're not going to last the live. Izzy, you've got this. Here's what you're going to do. All right, here's what we're going to do. I want you to picture yourself on a boat on a river. No. Truthfully, here's my theory. I'm going to run it by you. All right, give you something else to think about. The carnival magic. Thank you, Don. See that? We got pros all over the place. Thank you. We're up with her late at night. It's awesome. Dirty Stamps, where are you at? I like it. I like it. I like it. Magic. You know what? Oh, ho, ho, it's magic. You know. Great tune. Pilot, I believe, is the name of that band. Never believe it's not so. What do you think? Magic. I'll be there. Never seen a daybreak. Never seen a daybreak. There's above my window in the morning light. When I start singing, it's probably time to pack it up. What do you think? Smacking them from there, that would be impressive. I like a good long distance smackdown. Never believe it's Kimmy knows. See that? Someone gets it. Kimmy gets it. You didn't know they were saying magic. You thought they were talking about their junk? Well, I'll be damned. Yacht rock. If you know how funny that is. You know what? I could use a karaoke machine for my birthday. I'm hell on wheels on karaoke. If this boat's got a karaoke machine, you watch. I will hip check all of you. You will not get anywhere near that karaoke machine. I dig karaoke. I've got some go-tos. Everyone's got go-to, right? Like if you're a karaoke, you got 3 or 4 go-to songs. Calhoun, what's your go-to? Does it involve screaming really bad and bleeding lung throats? Spanky listens to some pretty hard music. Oh, here you go. And here I thought I was being very. Nah, I got you. This is the inspiring true story of Richard Martinez, who, as a Frito-Lay janitor, disrupted the food industry by channeling his Mexican heritage to turn flaming hot Cheetos from a snack to a god snack. Well, I'll be damned. That should win. That I tell you what, that's a log line. There it is, for real. There's your film. Or Mary Jane's Last Dance. Last Dance with Mary Jane. One more time to kill the pain. Thank you, Mile High Hokey. It's good stuff. Don't many true Aussies? Yeah, I don't think any Aussies. This is to Australia, right? This is to Australia. What stroming is to Sweden or wherever they're doing that crap, right? This is just you're punking the rest of the world, right? We're not falling for it. Yeah, you always see them in shows like they're like, it's savory. We're smoothing it on, right? And as soon as everyone leaves, they go start spitting the stuff on the floor and going, good God. They're just the only people smart enough to figure out what to do with all that sludge in the bottom of a beer vat. But no one really eats this stuff, not within their country. They've been exporting this garbage for so long, and we're dumb enough to believe that people over there eat it. Oh my God. Ray, you're not even funny. You're not even funny. Kristen Melinda, you do not want this. You don't even want to smell this. Do you know I stalked you last night? I do this. Every one of you gets stalked eventually, but I stalked you last night. What it will be is someone will send me something and there'll be a link that enables me to then go look at them. And I'm one of those people that I'm like, oh, well, look, now I can go stalk this person. And then I go and check out all your stuff. But I do it to everybody. Eventually, all of you will screw up and send me something that will allow me to stalk you. Loot fish. I can't say that right. But that stuff, right? That tastes like a Reese's peanut butter cup when you compare it to Sustromi. You hear me? I'm not playing with you. It is a Reese's peanut butter cup compared to Sustromi. Sustromi will make you smell Sustromi on your body for at least 3 days after you are done. Thank you, Mary Jones. It's called Flaming Hot. Wow. Are we seeing a pattern? Look at all this Flaming Hot stuff going on. Vegemite is the one thing you will not try. You know what? Here's the thing. Vegemite's disgusting. I'm sorry. I love my Aussie friends. Vegemite's nasty. But you gotta try it. What if you love it? Huh? You've had an addiction to Reese's Minis lately? Dude, this is going to sound bad. Now it's going to sound like a setup. It really is. But I really have a thing for the mixture of peanut butter and chocolate, right? Therefore, there is literally nothing Reese's makes that I do not absolutely love. And I know that's going to sound like someone will make a short out of that and it's going to sound bad, but that's not where I was going with that, honestly. You love Vegemite on toast. Here's the thing. You got to try it because number one, you might like it. And number two, there's nothing on this planet that you shouldn't try. I'm of the firm belief that eventually you got to try it. Oh, it just smells so bad. I can't even explain it. Ooh, the dark chocolate Reese's is good. So is the white chocolate, though. Honestly, what does Reese's make that doesn't taste good? Huh? Thank you. Is there a Reese's product that sucks? Tell me the truth. Is there? No. Evil twin sister, that's your superpower? What, trying everything? I respect the hell out of that. Spanx Calhoun, the king. Spanky will try anything. And he did as a kid. And do you know why he did? Because his dad never, ever did him dirty as a dad. That's a true story. Hey, Tiff, good to see you. When Spanky was a little boy, I did not make him take any medicine or any food until I ate it first. Because that way I could say to him, you know what? This isn't disgusting. He'd say, this tastes bad. I'd go, all right, let me see it. It tastes, and I'd be like, this does taste bad. I'm not making my kid. Seriously, Calvin, how many times did I say to you, you're right, you don't have to take this? Like, it would be medicine or whatever. I'd be like, we're going to go find a different brand. This is foul. My kid's not taking this. Like, I'm not shoving this down my kid's throat. That's poison. I'm not doing it.
All the time.
Yeah, all the time, right? I mean, every single thing that, because I remember as a kid, people saying, oh, it's not bad. And I think to myself, man, why don't you sip that? I don't see you tasting this stuff, right? Foulness, especially after they changed Vicks Formula 44, which I loved. Honest to God, I would be nipping on Vicks Formula 44 right now if they still made it. The good dark stuff that warmed your innards. Oh, I loved it. Oh, Miss Sunrise Dawn, can we get some ones for her kitty, please? Oh, that's so hard. That is so hard. Yes. Wait a sec. The dark chocolate thins? What is this? A dark chocolate thin? No, I have not heard anything of a dark chocolate thin. but I want to know why I have not been told of this dark chocolate thin. Calhoun, you're fired. Why have I not seen these? I feel like you should have been the one to bring this to me. You're my son. Hold on. Just making sure. No, but I'm angry, Casey, and I'm going to try that tomorrow because, honest to God, like the combination, there's never been a better combination than peanut butter and chocolate. Are you in the mood? Are you in the mood for a little ear love? What do you got, Spanky? The double dark chocolate Milano. You cannot tell me that the Milano is not one of the greatest cookies of all time. Of all time. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Why? Why? Yes. If you're not a fan of all things Pepperidge Farm, I'm not sure we can be friends. I just got to say, if you're not a Pepperidge Farm person, it's not that I don't know. I don't trust you. It's not that I can't like you. We can hang out. It's just that I'm probably not ever going to trust you. Like deep down, trust you. Right? It's all good. It's funny you say that, Hef, because I've always thought that the Mint Milano is kind of the shortbread taken to the next level, right? They've just put really cool stuff in a shortbread sandwich, right? Much like the ravioli is just a tasty little cheese pie, right? These are just shortbread sandwiches, but they're made with mint and 2 different kinds of chocolate. I am also of the generation that watched people run into one another. One would be walking down the sidewalk carrying a piece of chocolate. The other, you see, walking in the other direction. And although neither had a cell phone, they somehow were not paying attention to walking and managed to run into each other. Chocolate goes into the peanut butter. Then they argue over whether the chocolate ended up on the peanut butter or the peanut butter ended up on the chocolate. And apparently this was the start of the whole Reese's phenomenon. That would be Reese's Pieces, not Feetsies. Different subject altogether. Girl Scout cookies, Thin Mints are the best. But that's my opinion. I also like shortbread Girl Scout cookies. The trouble with them is I can crush like 4 boxes in a sitting. And that's really bad if you're trying to, if you're trying to maintain a specific weight, crushing 3 boxes of, tagalongs. You know what, Laura Lou? I can mess up 400 pounds of tagalongs, and they're not even really one of my favorites, but I can absolutely, in fact, no one has mentioned one that I guess there's not any I don't like. Now I feel dumb because I want all of these. Yeah, the trefoils. Wait a sec. What's the one with the Pepperidge Farm remembers? Oh. You know what? Sandy Bowers, have a great night. Thank you for hanging out with us. Samoa's for the win, says Kimmy. You know what? I love Samoa's. Everybody. Nice. Well played. Family Guy is, you know what? I feel guilty about how much I like Family Guy. That's the truth. I'm disturbed by so much of what they put on, but I can't watch so much of what is made anymore, right? There are things I can watch. Cartoons happen to be one of them. And I'll be honest, it is a really, there's a lot of humor that requires that, it's not mindless, which is really funny because it should be, but it's not. Marmite. Where is it? I have Marmite. Hold on. There you go. Not to be undone. Right? There you go. I can get just as upset about the Marmite. What's the difference between Vegemite and Marriott? Well, Vegemite is a paste made from yeast, and I'm pretty sure Marriott is a food chain. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. A hotel chain. I'm just being a wise guy because it was a type. And it was an autocorrect, no doubt. The difference is that one apparently is made from marmots, and the other is made from yeast. No, I think they're both yeast extracts, and one just. I know that people crap all over Marmite, and they're all like the Vegemite people crap on the Marmite. That's all I know. Like everybody will say to me, like Alan Valentine thinks that Vegemite is fantastic, but he was like, Marmite. He looked at me like I had said something foul, Like somehow, this yeast spread. See, there's Anne Marie. Marmite, now that's disgusting because that yeast spread is just nasty, Calhoun. The other yeast spread, it's like comparing barley to hop, okay? Dennis from Boston. Late again, time travel day. I hate changing the clock. Yeah, me too. We didn't change it here, but everyone else did. They are both a yeast infection in a jar. Could Tracy drop the microphone, please? There you go. That's do me a favor and run that one through your dome the next time you're doing that thin little spread on a piece of toast. Nothing will make that taste good again, I promise. I'm sorry, that's funny. Marmite is the Bee Gees of the spread world. Unbearable. You know what, Jeremy? That's mean, but it is clever. No, we don't change time in Arizona, which you think would be cool, right? But it's not. It just seems like it is. But the problem is everybody else changes time, so it screws you up even worse. Chrissy Never in Newton, good to see you. You've been watching protests since last night. Well, good Lord, I guess you're going to sleep well. Tell you what, though, the protesters are doing good work, are they not? You got to love it. You really do. I love it and I respect it. I couldn't do it, but I have mad respect for it. I really do. You like the squirrel can? Yeah, I think squirrel is a lot more attractive on the eyes than I am. So that tends to. She gets more love. I don't blame her either. I really don't. Here's the thing. She is absolutely a superior creature to almost everybody else on planet Earth. She really is. She got the paw up over the schnoz, he says. Oh, she's got it. She's got it almost over the snout. I love that. I think it's one of the cutest things in the world. Oh, did we wake you? Did I wake you? You know we were talking about you? Huh? What do you say, spoiled? What? Tell me that's not a happy girl. Tell me that's not a happy girl. All righty. I think it's time that I go and take care of my girl. She's got that look in her eye. You ready? What do you think? Yeah, you said you're a good girl. All right, people. We're going to get together tomorrow morning at about 7 o'clock, That's when we're going to start doing this. 7 o'clock in the morning and then 7 o'clock then again.
7
not trying
o'clock.
to kill it. Sorry, 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. And that's all she wrote. All right, people. I want to thank all of you, especially those that came down and saw me today. It was so much fun. It really was. I love the connection thing. I really do. But you know what? Now I'm going to connect with my girl because she is worth it. JJ, great to see you. Monique Alexander, all of you, have a great day. I'm Captain Tommy. Oh, look at that. Calhoun, put her on the big screen. Oh, are you kidding? Look at that. I dare anyone to tell me that's not cute. Seriously, you're not a cat lover. Tell me that's not cute. Ah, look at that. You're such a good girl. Can I get that for you? Come here. Is that better? How about a tail clean? Here. If you hold the tail right there at the end, she tends to clean it on her own. Oh, you know what it is? Are you going to clean my hand? Are you going to clean my hand? Yeah. All right, peeps. I am Captain Tommy Scoville. And this was the lifeboat. I am going to go play with my kitty. We'll see you on the next one, everybody. Bye-bye.